Airports are like mini cities with their own languages, rules, and secrets. Most travelers never realize what's going on behind the scenes, but today you will. These are 8 airport secrets staff are trained never to talk about, and number 1 might make you think twice before touching anything. You've probably walked past someone at the airport without even realizing they were profiling you. Airports use special experts trained in spotting screening passengers by observation techniques. These aren't just TSA agents, they're behavioral analysts trained to read facial microexpressions, fidgeting, sweating, lip-licking, and darting eyes. It's like having a human lie detector in the terminal. Let's say someone's calmly checking in, but their hands are shaking, and they keep glancing around. To you, they just look nervous, but to a spot agent, that's a flag. They'll ask something simple like, "What's the purpose of your visit?" and observe how you react. If your story doesn't add up or your nonverbal cues are suspicious, you'll be discreetly pulled aside. And here's the twist, they're not just at security. They're in the check-in area, near baggage drop, and at passport control, watching without you noticing. You haven't said a word, but the airport already knows you're stressed. Why? Because many airports now use aggression detection cameras powered by artificial intelligence. These cameras analyze facial heat maps, breathing patterns, and even posture to detect elevated aggression. Imagine walking through a terminal while your image flashes red on a screen, all because you were irritated from a flight delay. And it goes deeper. Some systems flash subliminal images, barely visible cues designed to provoke stress, and then monitor your reaction using infrared sensors. In seconds, the system can flag you for extra screening before you even approach the security line. We're not far from a world where security checks you without ever touching you. Once your bag is checked in, it enters a maze of conveyor belts, scanners, and automated sorters. Here's the truth, no human at the airport is watching it closely after that. Airport staff move your bags from check-in to the plane, but once it's in the system, it's on its own. If the barcode is smudged or the tag has old destination stickers, the wrong scanner might send your luggage to an entirely different airport. That's why bags sometimes arrive late or early. Imagine landing in Paris, and your suitcase is already waiting for you in Istanbul. And airport workers? They'll tell you once it's on the belt, it's no longer their problem. Pro tip, always tear off old tags and never rely solely on bag check stickers. A permanent luggage tag with your info can be a lifesaver. You've seen police dogs at customs, but what you haven't seen are the undercover sniffer dogs operating behind the scenes. Before bags are even loaded, they pass through 5 security layers, and one includes dogs trained to detect trace amounts of explosives or chemicals. But unlike police K9s, these dogs aren't meant to scare you. In fact, they look like regular pets, golden retrievers, labradors, even pointers, trained not to bark or intimidate but to silently alert handlers. They're trained using reward-based methods, and some are so subtle in their alerts that even nearby passengers never notice. Fun fact, a well-trained detection dog can smell a teaspoon of sugar in an Olympic-sized swimming pool. That's the level of sensitivity we're talking about. Ever wondered who makes your plane meal or when? Airline meals are cooked in massive airport catering kitchens, and these places never sleep. Meals are often cooked 8 to 10 hours before your flight, sometimes even the night before. These kitchens serve dozens of airlines at once, working around the clock to prep and portion food trays with military-level precision. Here's a weird truth, airline menus are finalized up to a year in advance, especially for international flights. Every ingredient matters, even down to how long it can stay fresh in flight. That's why something as small as an olive made history. American Airlines saved $40,000 by removing 1 olive per salad from business class. Multiply that by millions of meals a year, and you see why every bite counts. You know the air traffic control tower? That's just the tip of the iceberg. There are actually 3 kinds of air traffic controllers: tower, terminal, and en route. And they don't just handle planes in the sky, they direct everything on the ground, from taxiways to lighting. Picture this, one controller watching 5 separate monitors, each displaying live flight data, weather updates, and ground traffic. They coordinate with ground crew, pilots, other towers, and even border agents. Every second counts. If they give the wrong command, that could delay not just your flight but dozens behind you. It's one of the most stressful jobs in the world, and mistakes aren't an option. Most people don't know this, but if you fly into a country with no valid visa, the airline gets fined and must fly you home at their expense. That's why agents at check-in obsess over your travel documents. It's not just protocol, it's financial survival. Let's say you show up for a flight to Canada, but your visa expired last month. The airline still lets you on. They now have to pay for your return flight, hotel stay during processing, and possibly face legal action. So next time the agent triple checks your documents, remember, they're not just being thorough, they're protecting their bottom line. Let's talk about something that might be ruining your airport experience: your pants. And no, I'm not talking about those parachute pants buried in your closet from the 90s. I mean belt-dependent pants or, worse, suspenders. Nobody wants to be that person fumbling with a belt buckle while TSA taps their foot impatiently. Seriously, who still wears suspenders unless you're a magician pulling rabbits out of your hat? Skip them. The goal: make security a breeze. The less you have to remove, the faster you fly through. Pick pants that stay up on their own. Think joggers, stretch fit chinos, or even those fancy athleisure pants everyone's rocking these days. Because when it comes to airport security, every second counts. So ditch the belt, keep it simple, and glide through like a pro. Now let's talk about what's underneath those pants, your base layer. This is crucial, people, especially if you live in a place where the weather can be unpredictable. You might be sweating bullets outside, but inside that airport, it's a different story. The AC can be brutal. Choose a base layer that's comfortable even when your outerwear is off: a light t-shirt, a tank top, something breathable. And for the love of all that is holy, avoid wearing a heavy sweatshirt without an undershirt. You don't want to be that person stripping down to their bare chest at security. Awkward. Pockets. Pockets everywhere. They seem so convenient, right? But trust me, when it comes to airport security, too many pockets can be your downfall. Think about it. Every time you go through the scanner, you're basically asking to be patted down if you've got something in every single pocket. So ditch the cargo pants, ditch the multi-pocket vests, and keep it simple. Choose clothing with minimal pockets and only put essential items in them. Look, I'm all for expressing yourself, but the airport security line is not the place to make a statement. Leave the t-shirts with offensive language, violent images, or controversial messages at home. You might think it's funny, but trust me, the TSA agents have seen it all, and they're not laughing. Keep it neutral. Keep it classy. We're talking about those flashy belts with the giant buckles, those studded jackets, those metal-tipped boots. You might look like a rock star, but to the metal detectors, you look like a walking alarm system. And don't even get me started on excessive jewelry. Leave the bling at home, people. The less metal you're wearing, the less likely you are to set off the alarm and get a personal pat down. Ever been asked to rub your hands on a small cloth and wonder why? You were just scanned by an explosives trace detector, a machine called an ETD atomizer. Before their shifts, agents load the device with chemical samples of banned substances. The machine then remembers those molecules. Even microscopic residue from touching something suspicious, say, fertilizer or fireworks, can trigger an alert. And here's the kicker: even if you washed your hands, the trace can still remain on your skin or clothes. So if you're handling anything that might resemble banned materials, even legally, be prepared for extra screening. So now you know what airport staff don't want you to know and probably never thought you'd learn. From invisible scanners to behavior profilers, you've just unlocked a side of air travel most people will never see. But here's the real question: which one of these secrets shocked you the most? Was it the facial recognition cameras tracking your stress, the dog sniffing your luggage in silence, or maybe it was the atomizer that knows what's been on your hands? Let us know in the comments. I read every single one, and I want to know which secret made you stop and go, wait, what? And hey, If you've got that one friend who's always getting flagged at TSA or swears their bag disappears on purpose, share this video with them. Help them fly smarter. If you learned something new today, give this video a like. It tells the algorithm we're doing something right. And if you want more travel secrets, airport hacks, and behind-the-scenes airline insights like this, subscribe now and turn on notifications so you don't miss what's coming next. We've got full videos planned on how to spot airline pricing traps, the truth about duty-free, and even how to get free upgrades without paying a dime. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one. And now you fly smarter than 99% of passengers.